All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about hydration, but not bladders. Not really bladders, but kind of bladders. Everybody's typically, especially Western hunters, carry some sort of hydration. Even Eastern hunters typically carry a bottle of water, whatever it may be. I'm not a fan of bladders for the most part. You can see this bladder is disgusting and dirty. They're hard to clean a lot of times. Tip, if you're using a bladder that doesn't have like a large opening to clean, when you're done with it, just throw it in the freezer and it freezes and it keeps anything from growing in the bag. And then when you're ready to use it, pull it out, fill it up. It's kind of an easy way to deal with bladders. But if you're using a bladder like that, that's what I recommend. Use something like the Cenox bladder. They've got a large opening, a little easier to clean. I prefer these because the material's got a bit of stretch to it. It's a different type of material. I don't know what it is, but it works fairly well. I typically use these for my clean and my dirty bags that I have at base camp, and then from there I'll use something different other than a bladder. I'm typically not a fan of bladders. So a couple years ago, walking around the Western hunting expo or whatever, I run into Hard Side Hydration, and what they make is they make a adapter kit to basically turn a Nalgene bottle, a hydro flask, any type of wide mouth bottle into a bladder of sorts. So it's a straw kit basically. Comes with the lid. I think it comes with 2 extra straws and then comes with a couple valves as well. But allows you to drink from your Hard Side Hydration bottle, whatever it may be, like a straw, so you can use it as a bladder. Straws removable. And like I said, I think they send 2 straws and then you can buy replacements. And then they have these little one-way valves on the lid, and that's what allows it to prevent from creating a vacuum in your water bottle so that you can use a straw with it. They work really well. I tend to prefer to take something like this, every day out from base camp. It kind of helps me manage water a little better, see kind of how much water I have drank, how much water I'm drinking. I may take one of these and then may take like a smaller bag that if I need to refill this I can, but it just kind of tends to help me manage my water a little better on the mountain than taking 3 liters of water on my back. The one thing I will say with these is it is a little more difficult to drink water out of this than it is like out of a bladder. Sometimes when you're drinking a bladder, it feels like the bladder is pushing water into you, whereas this you really have to suck to get water out of this. Sometimes it can be difficult. So especially like if you're winded, you're tired, you stop and you want to drink, it takes more force to drink out of one of these, is my only downfall that I have encountered. I've thought about putting an extra valve or 2 in here to see if that would increase the flow rate coming out of this, but I have not done it yet. Like this because it's just way easier to clean. It's more durable. You can have different length bite valves depending on what you're trying to accomplish, right? If this is, in my pack, I'm going to have a longer one. If it's in my bino harness, I'm going to have a shorter one. But I've really enjoyed this one the past 2 years, year and a half. I don't even know how long it's been now. It's been a while. This has worked really well for me. Now, the one thing I will say is I wanted one on a smaller lid, basically. And so what I'm talking about is these smaller 16-inch Nalgene lids. I wanted one of those to fit on here. I use these a lot in my bino harness or back at base camp. This is what I'll mix like a liquid IV in. I'll mix something in here to drink out of here, basically. And it's, kind of what I wanted. And they didn't make one. So what I did is I made my own. I simply took the lid keeper strap off of this. I drilled a hole in the center of the lid, this one's got water in it, so I'm going to drip water everywhere. Took a piece of hydration hose and then stuck it through that hole that I had drilled so that it was the length of the bottle. And then I drilled a hole and added one of their valves. And so what this allows me to do is the same premise. Let's find the bite valve here, where now if I'm running a bino harness or if I'm running something like that, I can have 16 ounces of water on me when I leave my pack or I drop my pack. Or if I'm going on a day hike, something like that, I can still use this. I can put this underneath my marsupial bino harness. I can run it up the strap of the bino harness on the side, and then now I've got hydration in 16 ounces. So this is what I've been running for whatever it's been. Same time as this, 2 years, whatever it is, a year and a half, however long ago they released these. I bought them the first year they came out. Then this year, the Western Hunting Expo, they released a new product. They released the Ultralight, I think is what they called it. It is the same thing, but it attaches to I think it's a 28 millimeter water bottle. So your standard water bottles, 2 liter bottles, something like that, you can now thread this on there, use it in the same way. It turns your water bottle into a straw to be able to drink from. So this you could put on a smart water bottle if you're out on a day hike, throw it in your binocular harness, throw it in your day pack, whatever, and you can use a smart water bottle on this. There was a DIY option for this, kind of where I got the idea for this from. A guy on YouTube does it. I'll post it in the comments down below. You can make it work, and it's the same general idea. Let's see, I got one here. It's basically the same thing. You can make it work the same. This is obviously a little better quality. This is just whatever you've got laying around. So for me, I still want to see something in between this and this that functions on this little guy. Even if it went to like the wide mouth Gatorade, Powerade bottles, something like that, that would be good to see. I imagine that's going to be the next step from this product, is something that fits that wide mouth Gatorade, Powerade, whatever else comes in those kind of wider mouth bottles, but not as wide as your traditional Hydro Flask Nalgene bottle size. And again, you can use this in a dual wall if you want warm water, if you want to keep it from freezing. If weight's not an issue, you can use this in that. It doesn't really matter. One thing I do kind of like about them is that if you have just bottles of water and you want to refill this, you can have something like this. This is the same premise. It screws on the end. This is the Sawyer. It screws on the end of a water bottle, and then you can plug it into here and put water in it. It's a little more difficult because the valve's going the wrong way. You're trying to force air out, so you've got to crack the lid a little bit, put water in that way. That way you can get water in without having to pull this out of your pack, completely unscrew it, pour water in from a water bag or from a water bottle, or if you have a dirty bladder, not dirty, a clean bladder, and you're filling it back at base camp, you can use it this way as well. It works that way. So, it adds quite a bit of versatility to it. Again, I prefer taking these because they help me manage water. And then the smaller ones allow me to, have some water on my bino harness if I'm going on a stalk or something like that. So again, if you're looking for something different than bladders, especially Eastern hunters, saddle hunters, something like that, where your pack is hanging on the tree, you don't have to pull your bottle out all the time, but you don't need 3 liters of water. You may need 16 ounces of water. Then that's where the new Ultralight is going to come in really well. Is buy a bottle of water on your way to the woods, have a bottle, whatever. You put this on it. Now you have your hydration. It's in your pack hanging there. It makes it a lot easier to drink than to pull a bottle out every time. So, if you're looking for something like this, check them out. Hard Side Hydration. I think they're out of Michigan. I don't know if they're made in Michigan, but I believe that's where the company is based. Make a really interesting product, a versatile product. I've really enjoyed it. It's one of the few products that I've used in the past couple of years that I'm like, all right, I like this enough. I'm going to do a YouTube video on it because it works well, and it works really well for me. So that's why I made this video. If you liked the video, hit the subscribe button, like button, whatever. I don't know how many more YouTube videos I'm going to be making, if I'm going to be making a whole lot more. But let me know down in the comments what you think. Have you used it? Have you not used it? You prefer bladders? Is there another option out there that's better than this? Let me know down there in the comments. I appreciate you guys watching my videos. As always, thanks guys.